Aloha, everyone. So I am coming to you live from City Center. It is after the Christmas holiday, and I'm following up with a quick video, or a video, of my experience of traveling around Ireland with four dudes from Brasilia. Welcome, Alicia. My accommodations, by the way, in my little house that I rent have gotten even smaller. So why not use this beautiful backdrop and all the freedom to walk about wherever I like to share my thoughts with all you guys. Hello, Valerie. Welcome as well. Put the word out. Team Alexander's on the march again. So, where to begin? At the beginning. So, I mentioned that my roommates are Portuguese. They're not Portuguese, by the way, just to give everyone their proper diligence. They speak Portuguese. They are from Brazil. So, their names are Sandro, Tiago, Ivaldo, and Victor. And these dudes are also planning on going to Italy, so don't be surprised if you see me in mid-January in Italy. Maybe sleeping in a car again. I don't know. We're going to try and figure that one out the proper way this time. But what had happened was they had every intention to sleep in the car, and after I looked up hostel prices, which were enormous, especially in the middle of nowhere, I was like, screw it, I'm going to sleep in the car too. And our first night, we slept by, where I posted my first video in Galway. I didn't even know it was by the water, but it was freezing. And I can tell you that even being in the front seat, where there was a little more breathing room than in the back seat, it was not the most pleasant experience. It was almost like being in a little coffin, if you will. I probably slept all of 2 hours, and there was a point in the middle of the night where it was so, I don't even know how to put it, but I wanted to get the hell out of there, but there was nowhere to go. It's either out in the freezing rain or just endure it. And after I woke up, or, after the sun came up and everybody was up, I was thinking, there's no way I'm ever going to do this again. We still had one more night of sleeping in the car, and I was like, no way. But, the whole day was filled with adventure, and I took the plunge into the freezing cold water on Christmas Day, which was amazing. It was almost like a baptism, because I can tell you the guy who dove into the water is not the same guy who came out of the water. And so nighttime came, and I was like, here we go again, sleeping in the car. But, when I had no other means of, what would you might call it, opportunity, or no other options available to me, it's amazing what you can become comfortable with when you just learn to be at peace with what is and accept it and be grateful for what you have. And what I did have were four young gentlemen who invited me on a trip that they didn't have to. We enjoyed each other's company. We got to know each other. We all live in the same house, but this is the most we've ever spoken to one another. And they shared bread with me. Literally, we broke bread together because there was nothing else to break. I literally lived off of bread and biscuits, what they call biscuits, cookies to us, and chips, not chips as in French fries, but chips as in potato chips, and water for 2 days straight. And to celebrate the end of a 2-day, 48-hour adventure, they chose this Brazilian restaurant, and I finally had a proper meal again. But that second night of sleeping in this tiny little Ford Festiva, which is featured in the pictures I posted, it's a 4-seater little guy, Festiva or Fiesta, whichever way. It's definitely not one of Ford's biggest vehicles. I had a totally different attitude, especially coming from a place of gratitude. I was so enamored by everything we'd seen that day that I had a different shift in perspective. And when I slept, I think I probably slept a few more hours in the first night, but I was willing to endure that temporarily moment of inconvenience because it was resulting in a permanent improvement in my life. So with that, that is what the message is to you. We returned last night, and I was without the convenience of just whipping around in a car. And the grocery store that I walked to today is, I don't know how you to put in miles, but everything's in kilometers, so that's a new reality I'm getting accustomed to. But because I don't know the mileage, it just makes it easier just to walk and get it over with. Welcome, Louise McMurray. So, point of all this being is break past your own limitations. Usually when I'm saying this to all of you, I'm really just speaking to myself and anybody who will listen. And in order to do that, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable with your own limitations, because what I thought of as beneath me, taking city transportation, because I'd had my own car since I was a teenager. And now I'm in a place where I have to hustle to find work, to make things happen, take public transportation or go on foot, which is, by the way, I can see why Europeans are so slender if you're walking everywhere. I've never been in better shape in my life. So, but what I once took for granted is a daily reality for so many people. And now that I'm fully engaged in living my life, I have an aim for my life, and I approach that walking straight, looking neither to the left or the right of me, just always focusing on what it is I wish to accomplish, which is to inspire all of you out there, and to continue to motivate myself to go out and have these crazy adventures, traveling on a slim budget, but figuring it out. And I welcome Pamela, by the way. I do get comments because of a video I posted in a cemetery yesterday. It's so easy to say, go out there and live. And it is, but it didn't come easy earning the right to say that. I have made many sacrifices and endured many hardships that I voluntarily undertook so that I could overcome my own limitations. And welcome, Jacqueline. So yes, a lot of people can look at my life and say, wow, you're out there and you're doing it. Yeah, but few people, like my good friend Valerie, knows that at one time in Los Angeles, or not in California, when I decided that I was just going to find a way to make it to Europe and leave everything else behind, I was literally living out of my own car. Talk about, I didn't have 4 other dudes sleeping in there, thank God. So it was a little roomier. But I literally gave up my place of rent because that represented money that I could use and I could save, and I did save to come to Europe. But I would park on the sidewalks and in dark places, and it was during winter, and I was freezing my arse off. And I was literally counting the number of almonds I could eat in a day because I didn't know when my next meal was going to come. And thankfully, I knew people in little pockets here and there. You kind of know people everywhere when you live like a nomad, that provided a couch to sleep on or a meal for the day. Welcome, Tina and Jacqueline. And so, yes, I'm out here in Ireland, and I took this amazing road trip, and I climbed some mountains and saw snow and talked to some beautiful people in some crummy weather, and but all of it is all part of the journey. And so I'm saying that to all of you because what I do is not easy, but I don't do it because it's easy. I do it because I know it's worth it. I'm also finally in a place where I'm writing again. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but today alone I've produced 2 little excerpts just about a keychain that I made in group therapy when I check myself into a mental institution nearly 20 years ago, and another one about my little excursion to the grocery store. So I'm going to continue to write. I'm in a place where I am enjoying writing again, and I appreciate everyone who shares my videos, shares my work, because I feel I'm giving value. By the way, check out